In this lesson, we will learn how to set keyframes in Maya. Keyframes allow us to record a movement through time. It's essentially a way of saving poses on a given amount of frames until we've managed to create a performance that is desirable. Now in this case, what we'll do is go ahead and have our tank translate across this bridge, and we'll use a few keyframes to have that happen. There are a few steps to keep in mind. You'd first want to go to the frame that you'd like to create a pose on. Once you've done that, you would then create your pose, and then you're ready to save a keyframe. So just a few steps that will become second nature to you. Let's go ahead and get started. We probably want the vehicle to start in this position on frame 1. Let's go ahead and grab the arrow-shaped control object named Anim Transport. With that selected, we'll then go ahead and move to our Translate Z channel, and now we can right-click and choose Key Selected. There we go. So we've managed to create a key. Now, let's say we go ahead and work on having the vehicle translate across the bridge. Keep in mind that it's a pretty heavy vehicle, so we probably want slower timing. Let's go ahead and move to about frame 60, and from there we'll grab our Move tool with the W key, and we'll go ahead and just translate the vehicle forward. So we've gone to the frame, we've changed our value, and now it's time to save a key. Now watch what happens if we don't. Let's go ahead and left click and drag to scrub on the time slider. Notice Maya is going to revert back to the value of the last saved key. So in this case, it was a value of 0. You can see how this can get annoying if we don't save the pose. This is just a basic example. Imagine if you were animating a character and you really liked the pose that you were able to capture and you forgot to save your key. What that means is that all of that work is then lost. Now you could always work with auto key to save you some time, but you have to be really mindful when it's on because it's very easy to overwrite a pose you might like. Honestly, I like to work with auto key for a majority of the time, and if there are any poses that I'm trying to test, I might go ahead and turn it off, test those poses out, and if I like what I've changed, I'll then go ahead and save a key manually using this method. Let's go ahead and jump back to frame 60. We'll go ahead and translate the vehicle forward. We'll now go ahead and right click and choose Key Selected. Fantastic. So now watch this. When we hit play, you can see that it's starting to translate forward. It picks up speed at the center of the animation, and then it starts to slow down towards the end. And it's all because of our interpolation settings. And we'll have a look at that when we jump into the graph editor. Fantastic. Now, how would we remove a key? Well, let's say if we wanted to remove this keyframe on 6C. Well, once we're on that frame, we can right-click and we can choose Delete. And you can see that key has been removed. Or if I were to go ahead and press Z to undo back, another way is to hold down Shift, and that way you can grab a range of keys. So as we hold Shift and drag, we create a selection region. Now we can right-click on the selection region and choose Delete, and that key has been removed. If you'd like to clear out all animation on a channel, you can right-click and choose Break Connections. Alright, now let's say we do this. We'll go back to frame 1. From there, I'll go ahead and jump to the attribute editor. Let's go ahead and go to the first tab. This is the transform node of the selected object. And here we have our Translate Z channel. So we can go ahead and keyframe from here. I'll right click and choose Key Selected or Set Key. Fantastic. Now let's say we go ahead and move to about frame 80, and we'll have the vehicle translate across the entire bridge. So now go ahead and translate it forward. And then from there, we can now right-click and choose Set Key. Fantastic. So if we were to hit play, take a look. It's going to move forward, and then it'll come to a stop at frame 80. Let's go ahead and turn on auto key for our last key. You can see how, yes, the vehicle is translating forward, but to make this look more natural, it should probably move back just a bit for a little bit of a recoil after it has come to a stop. So what we'll do is go ahead and animate that on frame 100. Let's go ahead and translate the tank back just a bit with auto key on. You can see how the key has been saved automatically. How cool is that? Now, if I were to go ahead and change the pose, you can see that pose has also been saved automatically. And we might not like that big of a change. So be really careful with auto key. I'll go ahead and press the Z key to undo back. Something to keep in mind about auto key is that we first need a key set before it can work. You'll notice that if I were to grab the rotate tool and rotate the vehicle, again, I have auto key on, but no key has been saved. So we first need a key set before auto key can work. Chances are we don't want to change like this, so I'll go ahead and press the Z key to undo back. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the animation now. I'll go ahead and back up the view a bit. I might also press Control A to jump back to the channel box. I'll go to the show menu and turn off NURBS curve so we can truly live in this scene without the distraction of control objects or anything like that. Let's go ahead and hit play. So we have our vehicle translating forward, and watch this. It'll then come to a really nice stop. How cool. So that's it for this lesson. We've learned how to set keyframes. We've also learned how to remove keyframes. And we've learned how to work with AutoKey, which is a great way of quickly setting keys.